Patriarchy is gasping for air. It's on its last leg. And I love to see it. I love that I am here to witness it. And you can see it as the birth rate declines. You can see it as church membership declines. You can see it as women are opting out of marriage and going to the divorce house. You can see it.
Hi, this is Sarah from the Keepers at Home channel, back to you with another video. This week we're going to be discussing feminist lie number 2. And this lie is death to the patriarchy. That it's possible that we can destroy the patriarchy and that women can rise up, make decisions, and lead. Okay, so I'll explain why this is false. Because at the very bare minimum, if we're looking on the macro level, you're either submitting to God the Father or you're submitting to Satan the Father. Okay, John 8:44-45 says, Ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and an abode not in the truth, because there's no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. And verse number 45 says, And because I tell you the truth, ye believe me not. These are people who are deceived by their father, Satan. And in that case, he was talking to the Pharisees. Okay, so that's Satan as a father, or you could have God as a father. 1 John 3 verse 1 says, I see what great love the Father has lavished on us, that we should be called children of God, and that is what we are. The reason the world does not know us is that it did not know him. So that's at the very essence. Is there any other person in this equation? No, that's the dichotomy. It's either you have God as a father or you have Satan as a father. But Satan never actually reveals it to you that way. Here's a deception of Satan. So lo and behold, the greatest deception that Satan has ever done is to convince women that by embracing feminism, they are putting an end to patriarchy. But by embracing feminism, they're actually falling under demonic patriarchy. According to Dennis F. Kinlaw, Satan, his description of it, very excellent quote. Satan disguises submission to himself under the rules of personal autonomy. What do we hear? My body, my choice, personal autonomy. We want to take back agency over our bodies and do what we want to do with them. He never asks us to become his servants. Never once did the serpent say to Eve, I want to be your master. The shift in commitment is never from Christ to evil. It's always from Christ to doing what I want to do, which is serving Satan. And instead of his will, self-interest now rules, and what I want reigns. And that is the essence of sin. So it's back to selfishness, what we want to do. He's not having you bow down to Baphomet and say, oh, you either serve God or you serve me. No, he makes you a false god, and you therefore are serving him. Okay, so here's a deception where Satan convinces Eve that she is exercising personal autonomy, but what she's actually doing is serving Satan's. And notice her ambitions. But the serpent said to the woman, you will not surely die, for God knows that when you eat of it, your eyes will be open, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil. At that point, Adam hadn't eaten of the fruit. So she was aspiring to be actually greater than Adam, being as God. Next, we have an excerpt from a meeting led by feminist Kate Millett. And she was considered one of the grandmothers of the second wave feminism movement. Why are we here today, the chairwoman asked. To make revolution, they answered. What kind of revolution, she replied. The cultural revolution, they chanted. And how do we make cultural revolution, she demanded. By destroying the American family, they answered. How do we destroy the family, she came back. By destroying the American patriarch, they cried exuberantly. Now, notice the method by which they are going to deploy the destruction. Whenever it's man, the method is always about weakness in the area of sexuality. By taking away his power. How do we do that? By destroying monogamy, they shouted. How can we destroy monogamy? By promoting promiscuity, eroticism, prostitution. Might I add, this is the same method that is prescribed by the other side of the feminist coin, the red pill movement. Abortion and homosexuality, they resounded. Why are the feminists so angry? And if you are a feminist, why are you so angry? When you look at the essence of anger, it's hurt, disappointment. Many women have been hurt or disappointed by men, and now they're so filled with rage because they trusted the wrong father. If you trust God, there will be no anger and rage. There'll be joy. If you trust Satan or a man that is satanic, there's an opportunity to hurt, either hurt from relationships or even hurt by their own father, or maybe the lack of presence of their father hurts women. And I would suggest to these women to forgive, repent for the anger, and give your life to God. And these things, you won't have such a negative perception of patriarchy. Along with patriarchy comes submission. So women who are saying down with the patriarchy, they do not want to submit because either they've been failed by men in the past or they're being presently failed, and they do not think that submission to this man is wise or will lead them in a good situation. So what they inadvertently do is instead of choosing to abide by what God commands, they're now abiding by what Satan commands. And even when women feel like they're winning, and there's a lot of women rising up to power, then you see that men will reassert their dominance back into society. We see it now with Rachel Levine. So here I believe we arrive at the final stage of destroying the patriarchy, where we have a new type of woman rising up to the highest ranks in the country, to the prominence in society, to being one of the leaders in sports. And so what we have is this new quote unquote woman who is destroying the patriarchy and taking all the power back from men. One of the ones, quote unquote, women is Rachel Levine, which of course we know these are not women. So that's again is the fallacy of destroying the patriarchy, because what you're getting is not matriarchy, but you're getting the demonic form of patriarchy. Rachel Levine. Here's another one in the Biden administration. Sean Skelly. We have this guy who's stealing accolades from female swimmers and all facets of society, taking accomplishments that should have gone to women, but they are now going to men. So have we destroyed the patriarchy, or have we assumed a new patriarchy? And I believe it is the latter. Acting like women, they're dressing like women, they're talking like women, but at the very essence, they are still men. You're still going to be in submission to men. So that's why it's a myth, because you're in submission to a male figure, either God or Satan. So there will be no death to patriarchy, but what women need to realize is that we serve a good God. You could have a good father, even though your father might have disappointed you, or your husband might have disappointed you, man might have disappointed you, but you could serve a good father. And once you truly have that essence of God, then you appreciate patriarchy so much more. You will see the father of your children in such a better light, and then you'll see the importance of it. So that was the end of the video. Please tune in next week, and I'll see you again.